Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the series, where we're back again playing as Germany in Age of Imperialism. Where we left off, we were taking Scandinavia and taking China, and we're going to finish that this episode, hopefully. I will be doing the series as either a 20-minute or half-hour adventure. It just depends. I am going to be playing this as fast as possible in that sense as well. So, one thing I did not get to in the last episode was the fact that world wonders, like aspirin and other things, are all really overpowered. And you should prioritize them to the fullest. And what I mean by that is, well, honestly, every world wonder that you make, every innovation that you make in this scenario will give you a free 2 technologies. Yes, 2 technologies per world wonder. So Wonder Max, bro. Wonder Max. You're definitely gonna Wonder Max everything here. We're just Wonder Maxing. Um, so, I didn't like that RNG. That was some shitty RNG. Capital cities, I forgot to mention, are also harder to take because they have city guards, which are 1 attack, 10 defense with 10 artillery. Yes, some units have artillery built into them. It's not great. It's not fun. But it is something to take note of. And something to be be a little rough about. So with that in mind, technologies you definitely want to be mass producing world wonders. You want to do everything in your power to set yourself up to be able to make those wonders, because you definitely want to. You just definitely want to. It is very, 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 very important to do such things because it is really going to help you out in the end. Essentially, you're going to do a lot of everything, pretty much. Yeah, a lot of micromanaging. But Civilization 3, as I have always looked at it, as this. Civilization 3 is a chess game. It is quite literally a game of chess. Make your moves like you would in chess. Be very mindful, be open to your surroundings, make sure that everything that you do is with the intent to strategically put yourself in the advantage. Pushing hard and recklessly is a tactic that you can employ, but it is not the best tactic to employ. If you're going to take positions, please ensure that your flanks are covered and make sure that there is nothing going to screw you over in the end. But yes, it is as such. And as you can see here, artillery can really game change things. Because right now, Stockholm has pretty bad defense now because all their big units are now at 1 HP. And all you have to do is just hope with the luck of the draw. With luck, you can make that change. Now, here's something I'm going to do because I want to take Stockholm quickly. Cavalry in this mod is pretty damn strong because you have multiple turns, or a blitz, essentially. Blitz is really, really good for a trait. Allows you to attack more than once. Very, very freaking overpowered, if you ask me. Very overpowered, if you ask me. Yep, very overpowered. So, a cavalry unit, if they move in on something, can attack once, maybe twice. On a fresh turn, you can have them attack multiple times, such as 3 max. Makes things a lot easier and a little bit more controllable, so to speak. Now, now that I've taken this, I've got raw materials, and I can explain how raw materials work. So raw materials is sort of like capturing princesses in the base game of this particular game. Um, Essentially, all you're doing is you're having a troop take hold of this raw material. Your unit will take this raw material, secure it, and you have to go to a victory point. Now you can cash them in. Now this is something that is auto produced to everything, and all it does is help you just win the victory point system. And honestly, that's just the best that I can explain about it. Because that was the one thing about the Victorian era is raw goods being made into properly usable materials really changed how the world worked. But there is no incentive to do it. Unless you're really wanting to win via pacifism and to just colonize things and send resources home in mass quantities to feel good about yourself. There's legitimately zero reasons to do so. And I don't see the reason to even worry about it, but some people might. Some people might. So we have taken almost all of Scandinavia. We are setting ourselves up to take it, and then what we have to do is take these. We have to take these cities, and there is one city down here, the Danish Antilles, and we're going to take that, and that will cut Scandinavia out and bring us closer to the Caribbean. I do have a route in my head of how I'm going to do this game. Some people will agree with what I am doing. Some people may not agree with what I am doing, and that's fair. Essentially, what I'm going to be doing is setting myself up to invade the United States. Why the United States and not somebody like Britain, which is a lot closer? Because both of them are assholes in the late game, and getting rid of one is better than having both in the freaking fight. No. The reason why I'm setting up to take America is because America is actually a lot easier to take in this mod in the early game. Yeah, it just they really have really strong troops, sure, but when you start taking the East Coast, the West Coast becomes a little stronger, and it does slow down. But you'll understand why. When I start taking the major cities along the East Coast, you'll see how much resistance there actually is and the issues that follow. Another big reason is because American late game ships are stronger than British late game ships. So, they're not much of a threat in the early game as they are in the late game. And they will slow you down extensively. And yeah, there is Air Force in this mod as well. And let me tell you, America and Japan equally have the best aircraft carriers versus everybody else. Now, I don't think I have an aircraft carrier. At least I don't think I do. Don't think I do. Hold on, let me check here. I have this one. The Oceania carries three naval fighters. And you have the Hermes class, which is about on the same par. But when you go to Honshu, they can carry 4 planes, and the Langley can carry up to 6 planes. So it's easier to take America out in the early game than it is in the late game. Believe me, I know. I played one Japan game, I made it to the late game, and I had to fight a bunch of goddamn Langleys. But it's not fun. Well, it's not fun at all. I really had a horrible time then. But yeah, that was definitely not a great time. The Scandinavians want a peace treaty. Will you give me a city for this? No, they will not give me a city for this. Well, fuck you. I'm not gonna care. Not going to care. Ba-ba-ba. All right, let us keep it going. Keep it going. All right. Yep. Get rid of all these worthless ships that I don't really care about because I'm going to be replacing them with a bunch of proper battleships that I'm going to be using. Proper dreadnoughts. Do not worry about your coastal ships and stuff and at all. Please don't cherish them. If you play this scenario, do not cherish them. They are fodder for the most part. Early game fodder that is pretty goddamn worthless in the late game. Absolutely useless in the late game. Do not worry about them. They are absolutely abysmal. They have poor attack, they have poor defense. They can't travel in ocean tiles. Do not worry about them at all. They will be of no use to you or anyone other than the enemy to get free promotions to continue fighting in longer engaging fights. Simple. Simple as that. So do not feel bad if you lose a ship like that. Do not feel bad or think that you're a terrible player or anything like that because of that reason. No. Don't think like that. Don't even consider thinking that. And this is me being genuinely nice. Trust me when I tell you that it is no big deal. Not a big deal at all. We're going to switch the productions around here to get some steam transports, and we're going to get our Brandenburg separated from the coastal fleets because the coastal fleets will do absolutely fucking nothing. The Brandenburgs will, though. So yeah, that will definitely change things around. All right, so we have taken Scandinavia proper, and now we just gotta take the rest of the Scandinavian territories, and we're gonna make our way to the United States. Now, we're gonna fight the United States in a particular way that not a lot of people would employ, unless you're a Hearts of Iron player. Then you know what I'm going to do. Hearts of Iron players will know what I'm doing. There is one particular area in history during these times that is not as developed, and it is very much a horrible position to defend. And that is, in particular, Florida. Yep, Florida. Florida is a terrible, terrible area to try and fight land and everything else in. But when you land in Florida, it is quite easy to defend Florida because of the terrain, jungle, Everglades, everything. Easy to fight in, easy to take things to precautions. Now, in this map, in this scenario, the most heavily defended cities are Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, and San Francisco. Seattle is the weak spot. San Diego is a weak spot. Tampa Bay is a weak spot. New Orleans is a pretty moderate area. You can take it pretty easily, though. So the South is pretty much easier to take than it is in the Northeast. But once you take the Northeast, you have one of the biggest powerhouse producing industries that will let you take pretty much everything else. Now, this is me playing as somebody who's played this map a few times. Not only a few times of playing this map, but I have a general vague understanding that I know what positioning that I need to be in to make the best positioning possible to allow for some really crazy shit to happen. Um, does this mean that I am a pro? No, not really. What this means is that I know how to get through a lot of the gates and things here that'll let me pretty much do what needs to be done, essentially. Um, I don't think I'll be able to make it in one turn. No. That cavalry unit is going to be a big pain, and I might lose that cavalry unit because of it, but it'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. So now I am just loading up a bunch of troops into steam transports that are going to be very, very useful, very viable, with units that are going to be pretty much what I need. And I'm going to ensure that I get more streams of transports because I'm going to do a mass invasion. Now, I cannot remember for the life of me, and I will find out later today because of when I'm recording on. I'm going to my father's house after this recording. He has a book that is literally about a U-boat crew taking over the United States and making it German for World War One. Yes, it is a really good book. My dad tells me it is one of the best books that he has in his house. When it comes to alternate history, mind you, alternate history is a very big deal between me and my dad because we absolutely love history. And we like the idea of a what if scenario. It is always so fun. And it's why I'm so attached to Hearts of Iron. Because of that particular reason. Very, very, very particular reason. Um, so I do like to come up with ideas for that kind of stuff too. So if you guys like alternate history much as I like alternate history, if there's any books out there that I might not know, please let me know. I do play Hearts of Iron as well, and I can do some Hearts of Iron 4 games that are all alternate history for you guys, and we can see what kind of alternate history that we can come up with. Um, this is sort of a promo and also a call to my channel that despite, me having some rough upload scheduling and things, I still like to at least gauge my audience a little bit in what they want to see. Because I think, in full force, I like to think that my audience is very mature versus other channels and things. And I think that we can have some really fun times with alternate history scenarios and things, and all that jazz. I am a big fan of some books. One particular book that I really like the most is, in fact, it's somewhere over there, and it is called The Two Georges. The Two Georges is one of my favorite alternate history books that I have picked up because it's very interesting how they take place in the 1990s, and the United States is quite literally one-to-one with Britain in one way and always. Basically, the whole scenario in that book is that the United States did not win the Revolutionary War. Instead, it was a white peace and a pretty much a dominion system, and the dominion system has lingered for a long time. Canada and the United States are one union instead of two separate entities. They are one union, and I like that idea and all that stuff. And I will not spoil the book or anything like that. If you guys really want to pick up the book for yourself, just know that it is one of the most interesting what if scenarios that I rarely see anymore. For sure. Um, Needless to say, monarchy did not die, and seeing a lot of monarchical societies being established in the 1990s is quite unique. And the fact that Richard Nixon is a used car salesman absolutely makes things funnier to me. Makes things even more funnier to me because of that very reason. Yeah, it's funny. It's weird, but it's funny, and I find it very, very, very entertaining to think that Richard Nixon, good old Dickie, is a used car salesman. Kind of perfect, honestly. But nah, I joke. I don't mind Richard Nixon. I think Richard Nixon was framed for a lot of shit rather than actually committing things like that. Because if you really look at the books around the whole Watergate scandal, you'll find something very interesting. You'll find out something very interesting. That a lot of the aides that helped Richard Nixon around his time and tenure, like the staff around him, including like just normal White House staff, they were all like, no, he was a genuinely good person. He was a nice person. He helped me with this. He helped me with that. He did this, like good thing, like all good things. They were like glazing him, like he was genuinely a nice person. And the book that came out about him was like scandal this and scandal that, whatever, and saying that he was an asshole and that he was this and that, and he wasn't. I am very skeptical of an individual. I'm a very skeptical individual when it comes to defaming people. Because, genuinely speaking, I am a type of person to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. And I genuinely do give benefit of the doubt to Richard Nixon. But not a lot of people do. Because some people are very much in the mindset of, oh, clearly bad person, blah, blah, blah. No, I like giving the benefits of the doubt to people because I think there are some people out there who are really good, but they find out something very, very awful, and it screws them over in the end. And I think that's pretty shameful because it is easy to defame somebody. It is absolutely easy to defame somebody. And I find it very, very, very awful. I do. I genuinely think it's awful. Um, Another thing too, if you play Germany here, is you have to be very, very careful about your ally Austria-Hungary because Austria-Hungary will screw you over. Because they will make peace deals without your consent, and when they are in a locked military alliance with you, they can make peaces that you do not want peace with. And you just saw that here, because they just made peace with Scandinavia. I didn't want peace with Scandinavia, and yeah, I have to restart the fight with Scandinavia. Do not let your ally dictate your conquest at all. Ooh, nice. That's all. I know I spelled that wrong, but I like to put random names in. Alright, let's take this worker. He is now mine. Let's go out here and destroy this. And we'll come around to take Newark. We'll take Greenland. We shall take Greenland. And we have an army. So armies are interesting here. Now, in the base game, armies are units that you can stack 3 units of any type in, no matter what. It can be anything. However, in this mod, very different. Different in this type of way. They can only carry 1 unit, and it has to be an army-ready unit. Now you're sitting there thinking to yourself, what do you mean army-ready unit? What do you mean? I can't just stack 3 cavalry into 1 army and just go to town? Nope. So army-ready is this. Bonuses. Army eligible. Army eligible can load into corps. The corps is your army system. They can fight multiple times, they can move quite extensively, and they have limited power depending on what you put in there. So, the only units that can fit into an army, quote unquote, or a corp, is any rifle unit. Rifle units. No tank units, no cavalry units. No. It's all just infantry. And it can be any infantry. It can be a colonial infantry. It can be a mainland infantry. It can be even a wonder infantry like the uh, Askari. The Askari. They all have to carry a rifle, not mounted. So that's one big thing. They are strong. They have their own type of artillery capacity for their things. They do take up one boat space, which is kind of meh, but they do carry themselves in a way that it's really good. You want to get as many corpse as possible, cores as possible, essentially. You definitely do because they will pretty much carry the game. And I'm glad we got one now because we'll definitely be able to use it to take the United States. Because that's just what they're used for in the early game is that reason. So we're going to take Greenland. We'll take the Danes, Anatolia, we're just going to take Danish Caribbeans in the next episode because we definitely won't get it this time. I was hoping to take China this game, but unfortunately, I do not think I will be able to. I could have played this episode a little bit better, but I did not. I did not, which is on me because I could have definitely had finished the job by now. We'll go ahead here and we'll take try to take Turkestan. Let's see. Got one troop. We'll put right here. We'll take this cavalry unit and we'll go to Mongolia with it. And we'll see if we can't take those out really quickly. We're going to get these colonial workers working as they should be. We will not need to make another landing. We'll be able to take the city this turn. It should be relatively easy. Yeah, there we go. Easy taken. Easy given, easy taken. And what we'll do now is come around here, pick up this cavalry unit, get down here and hold. And we'll have these guys hold here because they're all going to be fortified. All fortified. And we'll wait for this fleet to make its way down and we'll fortify them. And we'll hold our position here. And we will begin our fight on America in the next episode. And all that fun jazz. So we should be set. Taking China has been harder in this version of Age of Imperialism. There's multiple versions of it. This is my least favorite one, but it still has its bonuses. But it has its negatives and pluses. Obviously, there's going to be one question in mind throughout a lot of this stuff here, and that is going to probably be perhaps when am I going to fight the British or the French or the Russians? Simply put, I won't be able to do that until a lot later. And what I mean by later, I mean this. Fighting them in the early game is not viable at all because they have a horde mechanic that allows them to put in pretty much every single colonial troop into their cities. Now, here's the deal with that, and the reason as to why it is not a good thing, and why I am not being very aggressive with it, and it is as such. And it is this as such. The VP system is a bit of a pain in the ass to deal with. The victory point system is what I'm hinting at. So you have to get a colonial troop to pick up the thing and take it to your capital or any city that has a victory point thing, to do it. And this leaves the AI to do this. They will take 4 colonial divisions, load them up into a steam transport, and have them all go to the main cities. Then they'll unload their troops. Don't take their troops back or move their troops anywhere else. They leave it in that city until they are at war, in which case they will move them out. So they build them up like that. It is a pain in the ass to fight, and until the late game when you have really superior firepower, that you can make actual sweeping changes to the combat, to the field of battle that way. But as it stands right now, it is actually really hard to do. But we're going to try and take Mongolia here and connect Ehrenholt to the rest of the colonials. All right. So, with that, my friends, with the conquest of Mongolia successful and the conquest of Turkestan as well, we will be ending today's episode here. In the next episode, we will be taking the rest of China, and we will begin our assault on the Americas. Yes, the Americas. And until then, my friends, until the next episode, peace out.